unless you're a sociopath, you
Yeah.
know, and then, you know, there's issues with that as well.
They're out there.
They are out there, man. I know a few.
I went through buds with a sociopath. The honor man of my buds class is still in jail for chopping people up and then disposing of their bodies with his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Who were they chopping up?
I don't know the people, but they would bring people back from, I know it happened at least once. It might have happened multiple times, but they would go to bars, find a couple, continue the after party afterwards, elicit an argument, some type of exchange. They killed, I believe it was a man and a woman, chopped him up. He used to work at a grocery store chain, so he knew that the very cyclical removing of the garbage cans there, they got sent to the landfill more often. So he disposed of the bodies in multiple grocery store garbage dumpsters. And then they eventually got caught because in the middle of the night, they broke into a Hooters to steal T-shirts and got caught by the cops. And I believe it was in her purse. They found a Spyderco knife with like hair and like basically tissue still on the knife. And I think the woman's ID.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a high-level criminal. They really thought this one through.
And that's the only way they got caught?
That's how they got caught.
Imagine if they didn't break into Hooters.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Well, first off, why the fuck are you breaking into Hooters for
Clean
T-shirts?
your knife, you dirty bitch.
But again, so this is, sociopaths out there. And this is another thing that I try to tell people often. The best people that I ever was around in my entire life was in the SEAL community. And my mortal enemies and the worst people I've ever seen on the face of the earth was in the SEAL community as well. He was the honor man in my buds class, which if I look back, he had passed more evolutions from a statistical perspective than anybody else in the class. They weren't actually viewing him through the lens of, is this person honorable, or does he, they weren't grading him by his integrity. But it just goes to show you that no selection process is perfect. And if you can't separate an individual from an occupation or a uniform or a black belt, right? If you think that because you have a black belt that you're going to be an awesome person, or because somebody's a SEAL that you're going to be a great person, stand the fuck by. And it's not the norm, right? I don't want him as the anomaly to paint the norm, but it's important for people to remember that those people are out there. And again, they can leverage, from my background, they can leverage the fascination, the curiosity, people wanting to give back. I mean, one of the most common questions that I get from people is, how can I thank people for their service? I'm like, well, A, just say thank you. And then my answer to them is B is, provide them an opportunity if you feel it's necessary, but don't do anything for them and don't give them any special treatment. Make them earn it. Because then you can get a true look at the individual as opposed to perhaps just the shiny object that you were focusing on before. Interesting.
So treat them as an individual, thank them, but treat them as an individual and judge them based on the merits of their behavior and their worth.
100%, not off the merits of their background. If you have a job, you're like, hey, I want to provide opportunities for veterans, no problem. Provide the opportunities for veterans, but treat them exactly like the person who is in the cubicle next to them, if it's in that environment, obviously. And if you hold the person that was a non-veteran to a certain standard, you better hold the veteran to the same standard. Don't let them get away with anything, because it doesn't help them either.
Right.
It helps everybody in the organization if you set the standard and make sure everybody holds it. It's insidious to an organization to set a standard and, well, why is this guy getting special treatment? Be like, what? Dude, he was a SEAL. Who gives a fuck? It's just a job title. And if that person is sociopathic, or they are, there's a bell curve. There's the top 10% and the top and the bottom 10%. If he's in that bottom 10%, by holding him to that standard, you're going to get an objective viewpoint of that, as opposed to just being blinded by whatever it may be.
It's interesting, but only you can say that, or someone in your position can say that. It's very difficult for someone who's a non-veteran to say anything remotely close to that.
Well, I hope they listen then, because they don't need to say that. They just need to act. They need to just live that. They need to structure their organization with that framework, so it's objective, not subjective. It's like people look at being a SEAL. It's not a Harry Potter wand. I have probably a familiarity and comfort with weapons and tactics more than your average person. But if I'm being completely honest about my old job, I could teach a monkey to do most of the things that I did. I'm serious. I could teach a monkey to do the things that we did. We're not out there doing nuclear physics. You're out there doing, we find an individual. How are we going to get there? Okay, let's figure out how we're going to get there. We train to those standards. We get on target. Everything is based on tactics and standard operating procedures, or TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. And everybody is trained to those standards, so you know what to expect from somebody, whether they're from an East Coast team or a West Coast team. You can meet in the middle, and we all are taught to clear rooms the same way, and it's just it's not complicated. Actually, the way to make us less effective and efficient would be to make it complicated. The simpler that you can make it, the better you're going to be.
That makes sense. I mean, but it's also the mind of a SEAL. Like the type of person that can get through buds, that's complicated. That's complicated in just being able to control your mind. You know, one of the things that you said in one of the times we talked about it was someone who's able to keep their world small.
We were in Utah. Bowen.
Yeah, I'm like, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Keep your world small. Like, so people.
That applies to what's happening right now too. So what you're talking about, you know, buds is a physical test. You're actually, I would say, having gone back as an instructor, which I learned much more about the process applying the curriculum as opposed to going through it, because as a student, you're just like, I want this day to be over. As an instructor, you can kind of, and you also don't really know what you're going to do the next day as a student. As an instructor, I can look at the entire curriculum in the story arc of where you start on day one and the product you're going to get at the end. It's a physical test, but we're using the body to test the mind. We're stressing the body. We're going to make you tired, hungry, hypothermic. We're going to get you so exhausted to the point that you're going to hallucinate. And then we're going to take a look at how you behave. Do you value we over me? You know, one of the first things they do in buds, you're explaining the concept of a swim buddy. And you don't get to go anywhere farther than 6 feet away from another human being for that 6-month time period. That is the opposite of most people's mentality. And you can test it early on. You'll yell at them and you'll say, hey, you got 30 seconds to go run out to the ocean and get wet. And in the first few days, they just take off and they start running because they forgot about their swim buddy. They're me-centric. And so you bring them back and you punish them, the individual that made that choice, and then also the swim buddy, you know, to reinforce that there are consequences to other people from your behaviors. And after about 2 weeks, you really can't separate people from their swim buddy. So it's a lesson, and it's at a beginning point where you can instill this philosophy of we is greater than me. And it's one of the most beautiful things, I think, from the SEAL community. If you talk to people, or my experience has been is in talking to people in their most dire moments where things are getting the worst, they're often more concerned about the people to their left and right than they are about themselves. My biggest fear, probably, I know what it was in the SEAL community, but to this day, is that I am not going to be there when somebody needs me. That was my biggest fear in the SEAL community, that I wasn't going to live up to the standard that the people to the left and right held of me, and that they were going to suffer for it. I was more concerned about letting them down than myself getting hurt or killed. And that starts with that ethos from SEAL training, but it's not a complicated course. We're stressing the body to stress the mind. And if you look at the people who make it through, so when I went back as an instructor, as a student, when you're going through training, if somebody next to you quits, you never see them again. Like, there's no, hey, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they're just gone. And you continue on with your day because you just want to graduate the program. As an instructor, you can talk to those people and you can ask really important questions. And my favorite question is why? You said this was your lifelong goal. This is all you've ever wanted to do. You left a D1 scholarship to come here because you saw for yourself no value in the higher education, and you wanted to come to the SEAL community, and you quit. Why? Time and time and time again, the answer I would get from the students is they got overwhelmed. So they were doing the opposite of keeping their world small. Because there's two ways you can look at buds. It's 180 days long, I think plus or minus 1 or 2. Or you could look at it as a sunrise and a sunset 180 times. So you could look at a pie and go, oh my God, I have to eat this whole thing. Or you can look at a slice and eat the slice and not worry about the rest of the slices and keep doing that until the training process is complete. Hell Week is another good example. It starts Sunday in the evening and ends Friday in the afternoon, and you get about 2 hours of sleep on Wednesday. That's it. It's horrendous to go through, and it's pretty entertaining as an instructor because you can just totally fuck with the students because they're off their rocker by Tuesday afternoon. But almost all of the attrition occurs from Sunday night until, I'd say, Tuesday morning. And beyond that, you're probably going to make it through because you've invested so much. But the advice that I was given when I went through was don't look at Hell Week as a 5-day pipeline. Just make it to your next meal. They have to feed you every 6 hours. So if I can stack 6 hours on 6 hours on 6 hours and just focus on getting to the next meal, doesn't matter how much I'm in pain, doesn't matter how cold I am. If I can just get to the next meal, I'll get a reprieve, a mental reset, and I can continue on. That in combination with some, the mental toughness is how you approach and set your goals, and then resilience. And my definition of resilience would be the ability to get bent and come back stronger than you were before. The way you do that is by bending yourself as often as possible, which you do all the time by running sprints, or you know what I mean? You're doing that stuff. You're mentally tough because of that. And if you can apply that resilience to setting and approaching your goals from digestible perspectives, you can accomplish an insane amount. So that's really it's a physical test, but we're just testing the mind. Can the individual ignore the big and focus on the small? Can you do the step that you need to do and not get overwhelmed, regardless if you're tired, exhausted, hungry, cold? That's really all it is. It's not a complex training program. There's the ocean, there's the beach, there's some telephone poles, there's some boats, and then later on we introduce scuba gear, and towards the tail end of it, some demolition and pistol and rifle.
How many days can you stay awake for where it becomes dangerous for your health? Yeah.
I don't know. It's dangerous for their health in Hell Week. And what the students probably don't realize is there is a huge safety network for them. You don't see it as a student because you're so just task saturated. There are MDs walking around all over the place. There's people constantly, we're checking the temperature of the water. We'll take core body temperatures on the students. We're keeping a very good eye, and we're buffering them because by about Wednesday, they're brain dead. I don't know how long you could stay awake without suffering some severe physical consequences.
So they literally get 2 hours of sleep in the whole week?
You might get a little bit of break time. It's actually on the wall at the Buds compound. It pays to be a winner. And the inverse of that is incredibly true. It does not pay to be a loser in the SEAL community. And for clarity, loser is anything other than first place in the community that I came from. The podium has one platform, not 3. So if you win, you might get 15 minutes off while we're hammering the shit out of the rest of the class.
So if you win a task,
like in Hell Week, you sit by
tasks such as
a boat crew race is a perfect one. Jamie can pull up a picture. It's Bud's Hell Week boat crew race, and there'll be students running with boats on their heads, and people get bald spots from it. And we'll do races like, hey, take that boat that's supposed to be in the ocean, and you're going to run with it on your head as a crew of 7 people, 3 people on each side and the leader in the back. And at the end of 4 miles, we'll be done with this. The winning boat crew will get a little break, and the losing boat crews will get remediated.
4 miles with a boat on your head.
Yeah. You know why? Because it's fun to paddle it in the water, and you can surf it, so fuck you. Yep, there you go. Yeah, look at that neck on that front right guy. Just
yeah, he might have some disc issues later on in life.
But they'll do short races, they'll do long ones. And
how much does that boat weigh?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It looks inflatable.
It is. It's an IBS, inflatable boat small.
But still probably 150, 200 pounds.
And then you got to imagine sometimes there's water sloshing around in there. Sometimes they'll get sand in there. Because we do let them paddle. They'll do races where they have to run, go out past the surf zone, flip the boat over for no reason other than it's difficult and it forces them to get wet, right the boat, come back in, continue the race. But so if you win that, you might get 15 minutes while we're remediating the class, and we know what's going to happen in that 15 minutes. You see people sleeping standing up. You see people face down on a high lick track in the sand sleeping. They're sitting there sleeping, and it's kind of just a reward, and you just leave them alone.
So you let them sleep for 15 minutes.
We'll give you a little bit, yeah.
And then wake up, bitch.
Pretty much.
Back to work.
Get right back in that ocean.
Wow. 5 days of that.
Yeah.
And you learn about people in that.
You learn a lot, and you see people push to the point where do you care about me over we? And we get rid of the people who cannot prioritize we over me.
Damn.
Arrogance comes out. You see it a lot in the leadership as well. The students are largely the same. Like from a physiological perspective, there's ones that are faster runners, and from a contractile potential, like more stamina or cardiorespiratory endurance. But most of them are the same. It's probably a 3% difference between the students. But these little pods of 7 people, some of them can work together and they're just crushing it. And other ones you'll see there's oars in the boats. So when they run, they're stuffed on the top, and you'll see they'll be out paddling, and then you'll just see a sword fight start with people just knocking each other's heads off with oars.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah. Because look, I mean, imagine how exhausted you are. You are so exposed and raw, so suppressed as a human being, like from all the physical tools that we have, that the real person comes out. And sometimes boat crews will just eject a person. They will hate that person so much because they might be selfish or arrogant, or they're not pulling their weight, and they will just harp on that person or beat the shit out of the person. Eventually, they'll end up quitting.
Now, when they do get in a sword fight, what do you do? Do you kick them out if they get in sword fights, or do you let them sort it out?
I'm going to let them sort it out.
Wow.
Plus, they're out in the water, and I'm not going out there. A lot of the times you're watching it through binos.
What are your thoughts on, if you have any, about these startups that are actually taking the blood of young people and injecting it into the bodies of older folks?
So I don't think there's a scientific reason to say it won't work. And the scientists who are involved are some of my great colleagues, very smart people.
Have you ever done it?
No, it's a bit extreme for me, but I think it could work.
Right.
It's just a little bit out there for me. But
little.
what they're going to do, what they're doing actually is treating people with neurological disorders. A lot of these startups, I'm involved in probably 15 startups right now. What we're trying to do is to treat diseases of aging and even rare childhood diseases, because you can't treat it aging as a business model. There is no disease called aging yet.
Right.
But anyway, getting back to the science, I think that it's based on solid science. But the future is I think a better way to go about this is to find what the actual molecules are in the blood and just make those. Don't give the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. When you've said this twice, you think aging is a disease, or maybe perhaps should be treated as a disease or classified?
Oh, I absolutely think aging should be classified as a disease. We should think of it as a disease. I mean, why shouldn't we? Everything else that goes on in the body over time that's bad for us is considered a disease. Do you know why aging isn't considered a disease?
Because it happens to everybody?
Exactly. That's the only reason. Well, it happens to most people, 90% of people in the developed world. But why is that a reason to say, oh, it's natural, we should just deal with it? We used to say that about cancer, and we used to say that about dying from an infection.
When you say it happens to 90% of the people in the developed world, what happens to the other 10? They die?
Hit by a bus, I guess.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So they die young.
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarifying. Yeah, I agree. I mean, dis-ease. It's a problem, right? Aging's a problem. I saw an old gentleman yesterday, and it was painful just to watch this poor guy walk. Hunched over and just struggling to move at an incredibly slow pace. That seems like a person with a disease.
Well, it is. And imagine if we were on a planet now, or an island where everybody lives 300 years, and we'd show up, and you and I, in our midlife, we're starting to look old already. They're going to look at us and say, what is wrong with you guys? We need to treat you urgently. We need to call this a new type of syndrome.
Right.
And it's only because we all tend to go through this that we think it's acceptable. But I would argue it's the biggest threat to the healthcare system. It's the biggest threat to the world's economy, actually, is the inability of us to treat people in their old age and keep them healthy.
Now, some people look at it a different way, and their consideration is that there's an overpopulation problem as it is. And folks like you want to walk around living to be 300 years old, have a gang of kids, you could create a mess.
Right. Well, I have 3 kids, but that's enough. That's more than I was going to have. But yeah, you have to do the math, though. How much would the population grow? And I'm actually working with a number of people to try and calculate this. A couple of economists in London that we're working on. So this is really a problem. I agree with you that if this comes, and I would actually say when this comes.
When this comes.
It's coming. There's dozens of companies working on drugs. The science is here. So let's say it's coming anyway. So we have to deal with this. How are we going to deal with it? Well, let's first of all understand what the future looks like. We can't look backwards. All right, because no one's ever invented this stuff before. So we have to look forwards. What's the world look like? In terms of population, it's not as bad as you might think. If you stopped aging today and everybody just went on forever, the population growth rate would be less than the rate of immigration. Now, that's not that can't go on forever, of course. But what we find is as people are healthier, especially in developing nations, they have fewer kids. So the calculation shows that it would eventually taper off. So the human population will taper off about 9 to 10 billion people and then stay there. And that population will be the happiest, healthiest people in the world.
Now, how do they predict that? Because I was having this conversation with someone the other day that as people become more affluent and society becomes more urban, people will have less and less children and the population will stabilize. Is that the theory behind this?
Right. Well, actually, education is a major part of that as well. Yeah, women's education is the main thing. But also just being healthier lifts the wealth of a nation.
And by women's education, do you mean extended education so that they pursue careers? Is that the idea? Or is it, I mean, obviously most people understand how babies are made. Like where's the education contributing to a lower population?
Well, so my understanding is that the first thing you do if you educate young women is that they can make choices for themselves and they're not just subjugated. Most men would like to have more children.
So you're thinking of like third world and...
Right, the real developing world. But that's where the population is a real problem. In Europe, they actually are struggling to keep up with their population. They've got an aging tsunami, so to speak. Same with Japan. The average farmer in Japan is 65 years old. They've got a real problem. China's about to head that way too. And that's going to drag the economy of the planet down. And it's going to be a real problem. We're going to waste so much money on keeping older people alive for the last 10, 20 years of their life with dementia, frailty. That could be trillions of dollars. Just $50 trillion just in this country alone that could be spent on figuring out how to solve global warming, better education, the environment, saving the 1/3 of species that are becoming threatened. That's why I think tackling aging isn't a selfish act. It's probably the most generous act that I could give the planet.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
I love how much the bantamweight division has heated up. It's been such a crazy ride for myself, and just being a part of this and being able to see like the wave and generations of different fighters coming in and out. I was talking about it like El Nino, Gilbert Melendez, and seeing like when he was on the top and now he's kind of like his last fight with Arnold Allen is kind of like you could kind of see like the passing of the guard, or maybe he's just not because I know he popped for some type of PED also, so maybe that was something to do with it, or maybe
he's 35, I think, or 36.
Older. Yeah,
and Arnold Allen's 25 and fucking nasty.
He's a young bull, yeah,
and he's being trained by Faraz Zahabi, who I don't think there's anybody better.
Yeah.
In terms of trainers, I think there's like just as good or in the neighborhood of good, but he's the fucking man as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of hot prospects just coming out, and I know you got the Corey Sandhagens, even Rivera. I know Rivera lost 2 fights in a row now, but he's still as tough as they come. He was beating Peter Yan until he got dropped at rounds 1 and 2. He won round 3, even having his nose busted up and everything.
That Piotr Yan, though, man, he is a seasoned striker. It's really interesting to see him with a guy like Jimmy, who relies on his power and his toughness and his bulldog tenacity. To see him get lit up in those 2 rounds, so Jan just set traps and looked for openings. And then when he finally found them, he just cracks them.
Yeah,
it's a really exciting division right now. Real exciting.
That might be my next fight, though.
Him
for the belt. I would think that would be the next fight, and I kind of like that matchup. He actually tried to punk me at the UFC PI Center last week. It was it was funny at the same time. I was like, dude, I'm not really understanding. And then on my left side, I'm getting worked on. I got Yuna Kaskaya, whatever her name is. She's on my left side, and she's getting worked on. And then I didn't know they were teammates. So he comes in, he's at the mirror, he's doing like the thumb thing, like slashing his throat. I start busting out laughing, and I show him the belt, and then I start slashing my throat. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get the strap, whatever. So then he comes in. He comes in with his camera crew, and it starts to go a little bit back and forth, but I can't understand. He doesn't really speak English.
Right.
So I guess he says something, and then she translated out of nowhere. So I'm like, I'm getting ganged up on right now. And then she's like, he says, why are you afraid to fight him in Moscow? And I was like, whoa, where did I just come from? But then I look back at him like, tell him no one's afraid to fight him. And then after I thought about it, I was like, wait, motherfucker, who's ranked higher? You don't call the shots. I call the shots. I was like, you're not Dana White. You're not Sean Shelby. You fight where I say you're going to fight, or wherever Dana says we're going to fight. So don't sit here and try to like act like everyone's afraid to fight you. I'm like, one, I don't want to go to Moscow to fight. That's one. I will openly admit that.
Does he live in Russia?
He lives in, I think he's from Siberia.
Oh,
from what I know. But I know he trains Tiger Muay Thai.
Okay, that's right. So he trains in Thailand. and he lives or he's from the coldest, most dangerous part of the world. Great.
Yeah. I'm not looking to go there and fight their guy. I'm like, I mean, if I have to, I will.
Is there a
but
Moscow card scheduled?
There was talkings of it in, I think, November.
Oh, upcoming.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, it would
That's
be a cool
heavy.
experience, but it's not an ideal thing for me in terms of financial situation, getting out there, paying the taxes. I'm like, dude, I'd just rather be home, not somewhere
Fuck,
local.
yeah.
Like I don't care fuck where he fight. I fight him in the fucking bathroom. I would have fought him in the PI center if he was acting, if he deserved it. But it is what it is. I'm like, dude, no one's afraid of you. I'm a fighter. I don't understand when fighters try to intimidate fighters and make it look like we fight in a cage.
Right.
It's like, dude.
But it does work. The thing is, like, fucking with people's heads is real.
Yeah, this is true. That is true.
Like, the best example, Jose Aldo is one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
I really believe that he was out of his composure when he fought Conor. And that's one of the reasons why he charged after Conor, and Conor cracked him with that straight left. It's like Conor was in his head.
That he was working in the back room when he was like
Yeah.
this, bouncing.
Yeah.
That's
Crack.
unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Unreal. I mean, he planned it out. He knew it was coming. It's like Masvidal practicing that flying knee against Askren. It's really similar.
Yeah.
It's like you know tendencies, and you also know emotions. And he just wanted to get at Conor so bad.
Yeah.
That Conor knew he was coming. So you give him some feints, hop around, throw some side kicks, hop around.
Yeah.
Knows he's coming. Bang! And as he's coming, catches him.
Perfect
Catches him
timing.
coming in. And
But-
again, similar because they're both coming at each other.
Yeah, charging in and getting
Yeah.
caught.
Crazy.
Car crash. But I don't know if he really thinks he's going to intimidate me. I don't know if that's what he thinks or. I'm like,
Well,
dude.
he's trying it. It's a time-honored, proven tactic.
Yeah.
You get inside someone's head, they get angry. And one of two things happens. Either they fuck you up more because now they're really personal about it, like Masvidal,
Yeah.
or it bothers them and they lose. Some people genuinely lose their composure if they don't like a fighter.
Yeah.
Cowboy used to have
I'm about to say
problems
that.
with that.
Cowboy and Nate Diaz. That was an
Yes.
insane fight. And I think that's the last time he probably ever let himself get mad, he said. Something
Well, it
like
was a
that.
learning experience. He realized that that shit talking fucked with his head, and
Yeah.
But there's some guys who do better when they shit talk. To where I was wondering whether or not the microphones were going to sit, but it's perfect.
Yeah. It's just right in there. It's like a little crevice.
Fluffy, like a little rest area. Does that help? Does having that much hair on the top of your head, is there any benefit of that?
I think when you get like elbowed or anything
Yeah.
like that, I think it helps out a ton.
Like if you have someone in their guard and they're trying to elbow the top of your head, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a little cushion on it,
Yeah.
so I think it protects you. And I kind of grew out the beard for that same reason, but it doesn't get as burly as I kind of wanted to. But it works.
I think in boxing they used to make people shave their beard.
Yeah, that's probably why. Impact. I that kid Desi Green. I used to live with him. He's in the UFC also, and whenever I put that guy in the guillotine, because he has these big dreads, and he would always get out of them because the dreads were like. It made his head appear like it was bigger. So you wrap around it and you squeeze the cushion and it just compresses and then his head just slides out of it completely out. So it's like a cheat code.
Slippery dreadlocks. I would also imagine though that having a bald head, if you get sweaty, would make it a little greasier. Like if you have stubble, like on the top of your head, that would provide like a little bit of friction.
Yeah, it makes sense. I follow you. I follow you on that. I haven't had a bald head though, so I don't. It's hard for me to know.
I like how your shirt even has a gold chain on it.
I was gonna wear the big boy chain today, but
Why did you not?
I don't know.
You only carry that out when you fight?
I usually do. I try to keep it not like too ridiculous all the time. Try to be like only in character, like make it for like a special occasion type of thing. I would consider this a special occasion, but. I try to make it more of an MMA thing.
There's something extra special about a T-shirt with gold chain on it. It might be more special than an actual gold chain itself.
It works. It works.
It's kind of silly. Yeah, man. How much does that thing weigh? The real one?
Not very heavy.
Really?
Not very.
It looks
heavy.
like it's like 10 pounds.
Nah, I wish it was 10 pounds. That'd be 10 pounds of gold, but it's not. It's not.
So is it like an Easter bunny? With like hollow?
Yeah,
Look at that.
it's
There
hollow.
it is. Look at that.
That thing is massive, right?
Glorious. So is it hollow? They're like hollow tubes?
Yeah,
I would think that would be so heavy.
you would think. I get a lot of people that come up to me and start grabbing my chain. I'm like, yo, this is supposed to be a mystery, to the human mind. You're not supposed to know what this feels like.
It's really light.
Give them the illusion that I spent like $25,000 on a big ass gold rope chain, but nah.
Well, you remember when Rampage used to wear the motorcycle chain?
Yeah, the
He had
links.
real heavy links around his neck.
I was gonna actually go. There was 2 routes I was gonna go. The old school route with my chain, like the way my dad used to wear it and how we used to wear it when we were kids, or Rampage Jackson and be like the new generation of Rampage Jackson. Even though I wasn't like slamming people, but I would have to like somehow work
There
that
he
in
is.
there. Try to do a good job of bobbing and weaving, moving my head, slipping off the center line,
You throw a
wrestling
lot
guys.
of kicks too. You keep guys on the outside. You have a weird style, man.
You're too close, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's your style. You're too close, man.
You're too close, man. Back the fuck up.
Did you start out from I mean, I know you have a wrestling base too.
Yeah.
What did you
10th
start?
grade.
What did
10th
you
grade.
start out with? What was your first martial art?
I didn't have any. We you know the karate kung fu like VHS tapes? I shit you not. I have a family of I think there's 20 of us now. My dad just had a newborn son. No! I shit you not. And he's 57. The guy is out of his fucking bird.
Wow.
But he just had a newborn son. I haven't even met him yet. That's one. And all the boys grew up. We had these karate tapes, VHS tapes, and we would imitate the characters, and we'll be like, we're the drunken master, or we're the white tiger, white lion, and we have to do their fight styles. And we're like little kids, so we're still flexible and, you know, malleable.
Yeah.
We like don't break us easily. So
Yeah.
we just start beating the shit out of each other, but we'd do like spinning back kicks, jumping off the couches and shit like that. And I think that might have translated, because that was like, we did that for years. But that was the most combat we did. We didn't do any like wrestling, nothing traditional at all.
Before I ever got into martial arts, I used to do that same thing. I used to throw kicks with my friends. I didn't know what I was doing.
But it was
you
fun.
know? But yeah, you like watch a Bruce Lee movie and start throwing kicks, or some Chuck Norris film or something like that.
Yeah.
You learn how to do stuff by watching it, but you could also develop some terrible habits.
Yeah.
But you don't look like you developed any bad habits. Like if I had to guess, I would say you have a traditional martial arts background.
And what?
The way you throw kicks. Like you throw kicks like a guy who started throwing kicks when you were really young.
Yeah.
But they're right. You throw them right.
Which ones would you say? Like
All your shit, your roundhouse kicks, your front kicks. You have great front kicks, man. You're really good at keeping guys off of you. You have good movement. You know, like
Yeah.
you got a style that's a unique style. Like so, when guys have to fight you, they go, "Oh, this guy is going to be kicking at me from the outside. He moves a lot. He bobs and weaves. It's hard to hit." You got a lot going on with your style.
it's very tiring.
I was going to ask you that.
Dude.
Because we called that in your
tiring.
last fight, like the third round, you were kind of slowing down a little bit. I'm like, imagine all the energy this guy's using.
Yeah.
Because you're always bobbing and weaving and moving and kicking and moving and kicking and moving. And Moonjos is just, bobbing towards you and
just
throwing
eating.
traditional type shit.
Bobbing his head too.
Like, if you looked at like energy output, like how much
Yeah.
more energy you must have put out in that fight than he did. Just
Yeah.
in terms of the amount of kicks you throw and the amount of jumping back and forth and leaping in and leaping out. Like this,
Yeah.
that's all like
It's a lot.
plyometrics.
It's a ton, and the good thing is credit to like the training that we do. You know, I get the right work. I got that guy Marab Devashili, who's a freaking psycho. That guy does not get tired. We call him the machine for a reason. The guy, he would finish sparring with me, and I'm like, I did my rounds, championship work. I'm done. I'm just gonna get on the bike or hit the pads, whatever it is, or band work, just to get a little extra cardio push. And he'll be in there and grab 2, 3, sometimes 4 more bodies to spar with, and I'm like, this guy just doesn't fucking stop. He's out of his fucking bird. And this is no exaggeration. This guy is out of his fucking bird, but it's the reason why my cardio, I'm like, you want to get your cardio top notch, get yourself a fucking Marab. Get
That
yourself
dude
one of
loves
those guys.
you.
He's
He
a man.
loves you.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Sometimes too much of a good dude. I'm like, Marab, I can carry my own wallet. You know, it's like it gets to the point like that. I'm like, dude, thank you, but I appreciate it. But yeah, it's a very tiring style, but we do a lot of work, and I do my own strength and conditioning just from having a background in physical education in SUNY Cortland. So
You do your own?
yeah, so I've been doing it since I was amateur, like writing my own thing, my own program, because they taught us how to like work on like isometric squeezes and different type of like explosive muscle endurance workouts and stuff like static holds, like holding on a pull-up bar and going out to punches. So I put together a pretty decent program. It's been working. I can't complain.
So
And-
when you do it, how do you design it? Do you design it for the entire camp? Like, do you set it out every day, like where you want to be, and do you adjust it depending on how you feel and injuries? Like, how do you schedule all that?
Exactly like that. So when I'm further out from the camp or not in camp at all, I'll do more lifting, and I'll lift heavy. And I don't really do like benching no more. I think that shit's like stupid for fighters. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm not gonna bench press somebody off my back.
Right.
I don't know, whatever. But I'll do that, and I'll adjust the training camp and adjust the programs when I get closer to the fight. And I don't mind to like sharing this because I think guys, they make it more complicated than what it should be. Like sometimes I see all this crazy shit. I'm like, I just don't understand the whole necessity behind needing that. But I'm no physical strength conditioning doctorate or anything like that. But from what I've seen that works for me, I just try to mimic everything that I feel in the fight and implement it into a workout. And I figure out which ways I could do that, whether it's bands, push-ups, box jumps, wall sits. I do wall sits get-ups with 2 plates. So I'm sitting down on my butt, and I'll do like a technical stand-up. And I use the wall, and I push up. So it's a lot of leg works, a lot of core work.
With 2 plates.
With 2 plates. It's fucked up. Man, sometimes I come there, and I do it by myself in the morning. I go to Law MMA by myself, 9 a.m., and I'm like, why am I putting myself through this? Like, it could be so much easier and more simple, like just to do the other stuff, like the plyometric stuff, and which is a little not as much impact on the body. But this is what I enjoy. I think this was what translates to the fight because this is what I feel. And I feel when I do this, I notice a drastic difference from one sparring session to the next. But to answer your question, like, I adjust it. I'll do it if my legs are on fire and I feel like they're really beat up from sparring, I'll do more upper body. And then if I feel my upper body's more beat up, I'll switch it off to the lower body. And if I feel like I'm fresh, like I had a good week, maybe I didn't spar on a Saturday and I'm coming in fresh on a Monday, I'll hit it hard and do full body, everything, and I'll give myself 5 rounds of pushing it. But I'll separate it into rounds, simulate the fight with rounds. So I do every single minute, but I'll do about 40, depending on how far I am from the fight. If I'm like just on a training camp, I don't want to kill myself. I want to ease my way into it. So I'll start like anywhere from like 30, 35 seconds to like 50 seconds. And that 10-second window or that other 30-second window is my time to recover and get to the next station. And I'll just rep whatever I'm doing, burn it out. I'll do the med ball between my legs. I'll do the foam roller in my arms and I'll squeeze it and I'll simulate the rear naked choke and I do it for 2-minute intervals and I'm just squeezing the piss out of it. And obviously you can't do it, but you do it to failure and your arms get tired, you switch and go to the other side and you switch your legs, you figure forward, you scissor the legs. So you give yourself different type of stimulation to your body to kind of account for everything that you may possibly be in for the fight. And you never know. It's like this fight, I did a lot of grappling, but I also did a lot of punching because I thought to myself, there might be a chance, it might be a possibility that I do not get Pedro to the ground. And I was happy I didn't force the takedowns because that would have fatigued me even more. I was like, if it comes, it comes. But I did a lot of output, just burning out the arms, getting that muscle endurance, kind of using that Floyd Mayweather structure of a workout, just getting the heavy back count, like high punch count in a 5-minute round. And I'll do that for a couple of rounds. And we do that a couple times a week. And I think you implement that with the lateral footwork that we do in the cage and just staying on your bike and having people like stalk you and like just not going crazy, but it's control. Like they're throwing punches like hooks or they're throwing a 1-2 and you got to like bounce side to side and get out the way. So it's a lot of like, at least I think it's practical for what you're going to actually see when you get in the fight. And I think sure enough, a lot of the things we did pretty much happened in the fight. Just on your toes.
Long squeezes is a great idea.
Oh, it's insane.
Because that's something that comes up often in a fight where you maybe got a guy in an arm triangle or something like that and it's that close to whether you get it or he escapes. It's like how much squeeze, how long can you keep it down? You know when you're caught in something and it's like you're almost kind of tapping, the guy lets go. You're like, woo!
If you just held it a little bit longer.
Yeah, long squeezes. Like my friend Scott Einstein, he teaches at 10th Planet, West LA. He's always been a big fan of slow workouts. Like he'll do chin-ups like this, like super slow. I think that's what they call it, super slow. And he'll do chin-ups like he's doing a chin-up. It might take him 2 minutes to do a fucking chin-up. Yeah. Where the entire time. So like when you're grappling with someone, it's like you're trying to squeeze it to pull them in. You got that long-term squeeze endurance.
It's like quicksand.
Yeah, it makes sense because if everything is fast and exploding, but then you get a rear naked and you have to like continue to compress or a guillotine where you continue to squeeze.
It's different. It's such a different feel. It's reminds me. It is exactly like my Brian Caraway fight. Although I did do 3 workouts on the day of that fight before the fight. Even Matt told me in the back room, he's like, Aljo, save some for the fight. I was like, no, man, I'm good. And I was just going crazy. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I did all the work, but I just wanted to be so prepared because I knew it was the biggest fight of my life. I knew if I beat him and finished him, I was probably going to get a title shot. I was 4-0, undefeated, coming off 3 finishes. And I knew if I finished him, I'm more likely going to get... And they lined me up, too. Because the next week, I went to Fox, and I was supposed to talk about the Dominic Cruz fight versus Uriah Faber fight, which I went, but the fight didn't go my way. So it kind of had like a bittersweet taste to it. So,
do you think it had anything to do with the extra rounds you put in or the extra work? Did it tire you out?
100%. I think if I had just done my one morning shakeout, 15, 20 minutes, it was what I do now, just get the food moving through my system so that my body can get like just feel like it's more alive again, like it does during training camp. I think that fight easily done first round or even the second, because he survived the first. But I think the second round, I think I get him out of there. But it's just experience, learning and becoming more mature about the game and trusting your training.
Do you think that has anything to do with you training yourself? Do you think that if you had a legit strength and conditioning coach who's monitoring your heart rate, are you monitoring your heart rate and all that stuff?
No. I just started doing stuff with the PI Center, and I try to, because I saw that guy Brendan Davis. He's 45 foot to beat, and he's a big fucking dude.
Gigantic. He's 135 now,
which is insane to me.
I don't know how he makes it.
That's what I said. So I'm like, dude, if I'm gonna have to be fighting these giant guys, I need to figure something out. I'm like, they explained how he was able to cut the weight, like he was running like 10 miles or something a day, which was insane to me. I know he was saying like some of it was like walking, but it's all about your heart rate, your resting heart rate, where you burn the most fat and calories or whatever you want to call it.
He's so big. When I was standing next to him, I couldn't believe he makes 135.
It's insane. I was actually pretty upset. I was like, fuck this guy, go back up to your weight class.
There he is right there. And didn't he say that he weighed, I think I asked him what he weighed in the cage. I think he said somewhere around 160.
Yeah, I don't get that big.
What does he say?
I'll check.
It's bananas, man. He's so gigantic. And he's, what, like 6'1" or something like that?
Yeah. That's
crazy for that weight class.
Yeah, I don't want to fight a guy that's 6'1". I got the unfair advantage right now. You take your ass back out to 45.
But yeah, I definitely like being in there, being active. I train all year round. Like I don't really take big breaks unless I like hurt something. So in most of my fights, I come out injury free. If I do have injuries from like a fight camp, not from the actual fight.
That's really fortunate.
Yeah, no, I'm lucky. So I want, not gonna lit. I want to, I want to take advantage of my health because I know it's not gonna last forever.
How old are you now? You know what
oh God, 20
26?
Yeah, that's the magic number. No, I'm 34 this year. Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
When did you start training?
I did my first Muay Thai class when I turned 24.
Wow.
Yeah, so I called
Maybe
it my...
that's a thing, right? Like you don't have the wear and tear of like a lot of people start when they're 10 and by the time they get to They're all
jacked
MCL
up.
Fucked up and back's a mess and
And it
neck's
probably
hurt.
stunts your growth too a little bit. I don't know. I feel like something happens.
If you cut weight, it certainly does.
Yeah. So I didn't really do any sports after I guess middle school, and from middle school through high school to college, and then after college, I didn't do shit.
You didn't do anything?
Nah, I was skinny fat, so I didn't have to.
But you didn't work out or nothing?
Nah, I didn't work out.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. If you see a picture of me from like right after college, I look like this little skinny like stick figure, like just soft girl. It's really weird. So like when people see me now, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like
people from back then.
Yeah.
Well, they must be freaking out now. Like she's a what?
Yeah,
she's in the fucking what? She's a UFC contender.
I know.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's
Angela?
really funny. Yeah, exactly. Like nobody, and I was so different. Well, not different, but I was like super quiet, like all my life, like in high school, especially college. Like I was always just like really shy and really like soft spoken.
That's surprising because you're very funny on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
On Twitter, you're hilarious.
Well, I was always funny.
You're always funny, just quiet.
Nobody knew it. Yeah, I kept it to myself. I cracked myself up all day. But yeah, like I'm just super shy. Like always awkward around like new people and new settings. And like I had my tight knit group of friends, but like I was never like the popular kid by any means. So
what brought you into Muay Thai class?
A workout.
You just needed something
I was
to do.
just fat. Yeah, I had just gotten married, and I also had an office job. I was working at an animation studio, and before that, I had been bartending. So I was like moving around and doing stuff, and I never really felt like inactive. But once I quit the bar job and was just doing that full time, I just felt like fat and lazy and greasy and, everything that happens from like sitting down all day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you do all sorts of shit outside of this just to like, stay happy.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, it was really cool discovering it. Like I was just asking around because I always wanted to learn how to fight. But like boxing intimidated me. I'm like, they're not going to want to deal with me. Like, they deal with me if I came in when I was like 10, but not now. Some old ass fucking girl wanting to learn how to box. But then people are telling me like, oh, Muay Thai is like really cool. And I was afraid of getting bulky, and they're like, oh no, if you do Muay Thai, like you'll still look really natural. You won't look like you're on steroids. And I was like, oh, okay.
Every girl's afraid of that. You're afraid of big shoulders and big arms.
I mean, now I don't care. I'm like, bring it on, But back then I was like really worried about looking like a Ninja Turtle.
That's so funny because it's so hard for a girl to look like that without steroids. But you see some girls who go hard, like the CrossFit
like
girls.
Half my opponents. They're just all trapped up.
There's a few. There's a few that you definitely know something happened in the past.
Something happened. They grew up on a farm.
That's
the
a lot of throwing
line.
hay around. So you're 24 years old. You walk into a Muay Thai class. When do you get addicted to it?
First class, man.
Really?
First class. My coach, my first coach, Brandon Levi, does Evolution Muay Thai in New York.
So that's where you were in New York at the time?
Yeah, in New York. Yeah, that's where I went to school and everything. And first class, I threw like an elbow and a knee on the Thai pads. And I was like, oh, because it feels so hard.
Yeah.
And like, I never knew that I could generate that much power with my like little body. Because I was probably like 115 pounds, like soaking wet, at the time. So I was just like, oh my God, like I feel so powerful. And like ever since then, I was just going every day. I was going with my husband. Like we were like getting in shape, learning how to kick and stuff. And it was just like a lot of stuff I never thought I'd be able to do. I was doing it. Like even just throwing a head kick. Like I didn't like try out for cheerleading because I was inflexible. I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. I can't do a high kick. I can't do a split or anything like that. So being able to get my leg up high enough to kick someone in the head, like it was like a huge milestone for me athletically.
I love a story like that where you didn't do shit from like middle school, high school. You didn't do shit till you're 24. And then all of a sudden you get addicted to it.
Yeah. It
That's
was
crazy.
always in me, man.
And then 10 years later, you're a top contender in the UFC.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
It's weird, but like it makes sense to me because like anytime I tried to do a sport when I was a kid, I would just lose interest. And I think it was because they were all team sports. Like I was on a basketball team, softball, baseball, whatever. I ran track for like a few months and all of that stuff. I was just like, this is stupid. Like, what's the point? Or that, or I don't know. I didn't like working with people. But the one thing I was good at was stealing the ball in basketball. So like, I never made any shots. Like, I was really bad at like dribbling and everything. But if someone got the ball and they were next to me, I'd run over and I'd grab it and just like wriggle until they're just like, like they would just get mad at me and let go of the ball. So I'd steal it and then pass it to the girl that could shoot. So yeah, that was the one thing I was good at.
That's conflict.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a sign of things to come. You're good at conflict.
Exactly. I like that. And especially because I was so shy outside of that, then it was just kind of like my outlet.
So how long was it between your first class and your first fight?
It was about 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So
right away, you're like balls deep into this thing.
Yeah.
For lack of better expression.
What else? I'm like, what else deep could I?
Yeah. What can a girl do?
I was balls
Ovaries deep.
Yeah. I was really into it, and I hadn't considered fighting yet, but my coach was like, I think it was around the time. Have you ever heard of the WKAs? Mm-hmm. So it was around the time of that, and he was taking a couple people down, and he was like, hey, you want to do WKAs? You want to have a fight? And I was like, oh, are you sure? Like, you sure I'm ready? And it was kind of halfway because, well, I don't know if this is why he asked, but once I said yes, there was a girl that used to train with us who was also doing it in my weight class, and he was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, I thought it was cool that he had that confidence in me because all the other girls who were in the tournament had been training a lot longer than me, for years even. So yeah, I was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Like, I was scared, but also wasn't like putting all my eggs in that basket. Like, I didn't think anything was going to come from doing Muay Thai. It was just fun at the time.
Right.
So I went and I beat 2 girls, won the regional championship or whatever.
Wow.
And from then on, I was just fighting. They had this show in New York called Friday Night Fights. And I got a few shows on that, or a few fights on that. I went 14-0 as an amateur Muay Thai fighter. Then before I went pro, I was trying to get an MMA fight just so I had like 1 or 2 amateur MMA fights under my belt. So if I do decide to do it, I'd have that experience, but no one would fight me. So I ended up going pro anyway, had 2 pro Muay Thai fights, and then I had my first pro MMA fight 2 days before the Tough tryouts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so recent.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year were you on Tough? Was that 6
Tough
years
20, so I think it was 2014, yeah.
ago? Wow.
That's when the tryouts were, and I think it aired. Yeah, I think our finale was like that December.
Well, that makes sense
Yeah.
now as to why you've gotten so much better over the last few fights. You're still fucking learning.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been in there.
There was this one lady who got arrested, and she's got arrested for serving or selling all these different animals. She was selling eagles.
No.
Yeah.
Aw.
Isn't that weird that we get weird about eagles, but we don't give a fuck about a chicken?
I don't know.
that's
They're
strange.
so noble. They're big. They're big as shit.
They're big as shit.
I feel bad like when it's like bigger than normal. You know, like a really big
Like an elephant.
Yeah, like a really big elephant. I
Right.
feel like really bad about eating just because I feel like its brain is bigger, so it's probably more likely to be like sentient.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
I'd have to be starving to death to eat an elephant.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like I'm trapped in the bush and I got a rifle.
Oh,
and the
I
only
would
thing to
never
eat's
eat
an
like an elephant, like just an elephant. Like they're like so amazing.
They have incredible memories too.
Yeah,
Like, there's this crazy video of an elephant being reunited with, I think it's a sibling or a daughter or a mother or something like that, and they hadn't seen each other in 12 years. And they see each other and they run to each other and wrap their trunks around each other, and it's crazy. Like that is not like a deer.
Yeah.
You know, deer
That's
don't even know what
amazing.
the fuck's going on. They're
It's
like,
like,
"Boink, boink, boink." You know, is that a car? Let me run in front of it.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Elephants, I mean, they can teach elephants to paint themselves. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Dude, you got to see this. Elephants can paint themselves. They can paint an elephant.
Yeah.
Like just with them holding onto the brush with their trunk, they make a trunk, they make the body, they make the tail. It's
Damn,
crazy.
That's so cool.
They trained an elephant to paint himself.
That's so crazy.
It's so weird to watch.
so
Like
they
you-
could be smarter than apes then, right? Or is it just
mean,
is it just
maybe.
different?
The thing where it's hard to tell is like apes have fingers, right? They can move stuff around. Like chimps have incredible memories. They have incredible short-term memories. Like chimps have better memories than us when it comes to like they'll flash a bunch of things on a screen and chimps can point out exactly what they saw if they get a reward. Like if they get candy,
Yeah.
like they'll give them candy if they can lay out like some numbers and some things like in the correct order. Where you or I would be
Wow.
like, what the fuck did I see? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like we're burdened by too much information and data and all sorts of different things. Chimps can just do it.
and they have that one motivator.
Yeah, they want
Like
that candy.
treats.
But,
Yeah.
but their memory's incredible.
That's
Chimps
crazy.
have bananas memories,
That's cool.
for lack of a better term. Did you find that video of the elephant with the brush? It's so weird to watch.
I wanna
I mean,
see it.
apparently this is like they train this elephant specifically to learn how to do this, but it's still crazy impressive
Mm-hmm.
because he does a really good job, like better than like a 4-year-old would. Like a 4-year-old person, like
Yeah.
you know, one of my kids when they're 4, they wouldn't do as good a job
Yeah.
of making a fucking elephant.
Did it look in the mirror and then
I don't remember what
it was
it
a
did.
self-portrait?
Right? How does it know? You got it, Channing?
I'm trying to find the exact one you're talking about. But this has been a controversial story, I believe.
Right. It is. Well, I think it's controversial because they taught the elephant how to paint himself, but it's still.
So the training methods are probably
no,
controversial.
I
or
don't
what
think
was
it's like, I don't
controversial
think they
about
abused him. I don't think
Yeah.
they're thinking that. Is that what they're thinking?
that's. I mean, I'm looking hard for the video, and that's what's coming up is like abuse or not abuse.
Yeah.
Is this abuse?
Yeah,
Is it
but that's
cruel?
animal rights dipshits. Those people
I'm
get
just trying to
fucking
find the
crazy.
video, so
I do feel really guilty about when I went to Thailand just to like train out there, and I did one of those like elephant ride.
I did
things.
too. Yeah.
And I do
felt
feel guilty
Me
about
too.
it.
Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
My whole family was like, "That was so fun." I was like, "I'm not doing that again."
Yeah.
I'm like, I
yeah.
felt bad. I mean, you
can
feed
s-
the elephant.
You can
Here it is.
tell because
So here it is. Look at this. Look at this elephant. So he's painting
it's
himself.
a baby.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how you could say he's being abused. I mean, he's just doing that. It doesn't seem like there's any weird motivators other than, they taught him how to do it. They probably gave him some treats.
No, he's drawing a trunk.
Yeah.
What the
No, I
hell?
mean, they're all drawing themselves.
What?
There's more than one. Yeah. Oh, he's drawing a duck. That's crazy. But just the fact
That's
that they can do that they
crazy.
can create
Yeah.
something, and it reasonably resembles what they are, is nuts.
What they're making. Yeah,
I'm glad you said
I thought
that
he had
about-
like maybe a mirror in
Keep it
front
up.
of him.
Yeah, no, we don't. No, he
He's
didn't have
like
a mirror.
doing like a Van Gogh or something.
It's pretty close to what an elephant looks like. What does
Yeah.
it say? It says the truth about elephant paintings. What is the truth?
Well, it must be like a stencil that they had. They're just like tracing it or whatever. Not tracing that, but like they must have trained them to make a certain shape.
Maybe.
So I doubt that the elephant knows that that's him.
I
You
wonder.
know. But who
wonder.
knows? Who knows? They could be smarter than all of us.
Well-
like, don't they say like fucking what is it? What is it? Squid?
Octopus and squid. Yeah,
Yeah,
octopus
they're
are
really
smart.
stupid smart.
Really
yeah,
smart,
Like,
yeah.
but they only live for like
A couple weeks.
yeah.
They don't-
So it's like,
I think
how
they
the
live
fuck
like
does
2
that
years.
work?
Yeah, I think octopus live like 2 years or something stupid.
That's so crazy.
But I'm glad you said that about the elephants in Thailand. I felt bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like the riding them thing, but you fed them. We get to feed them sugar cane.
Yeah,
And
that
did
was
you
the
go to
best part.
Were you near Chiang Mai?
No, I didn't get to go to any sanctuaries, like the elephant sanctuary,
yeah,
where you
that's-
get to like bathe them.
Yeah,
and,
that's what we
like,
did, yeah.
just run around with them. And
Yeah, you
stuff.
clean them and then you feed them sugar cane.
Yeah.
And then you ride them. And the riding part, I was like, I don't want to do it. I felt
Well, did they have that big hook?
the hook.
When we went to the one that we went to, they have this like big pole with a little hook on the end, and it never like hits them or anything, but it's just resting on like their shoulder. And I
No,
was
they
like,
didn't have that.
"Fuck,
They just had
that's
a
like,
rope.
That was like their like kind
Oh,
of
to
training
punish them?
tool. I figured like that was what they used to like get them to behave. So it's like someone sitting next to you with like a whip, you know,
Oh,
like you know what it could do. It didn't do anything, but you just know it's there.
No, this place, one thing that I will definitely say is that they treated those elephants like pets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They treated them really well. They pet them, and you could tell they had a sweet relationship with them. Like the elephant would wrap their trunk around the people, and the people would rub their head. And
Yeah.
they wanted to be around those people. And then they would feed them a lot of sugar cane.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had these big stalks of sugar cane, and they would make you see, the whole idea was a rehabilitation thing for elephants. And a lot of the elephants had been in circuses and zoos and things
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And then they actually had reintroduced a lot of them to the wild. And when we were there, these elephants were not in cages. They were free roaming.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
it was crazy, their power. They just wrap their trunk around shit, just pull it out of the
Yeah.
roots and then just start eating it. Like,
But then they're also really gentle.
Really
like
gentle
when
with
they
people.
grab stuff out of your hand,
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
they just like they fill your hand and then they grab the treat around it. And
Yeah.
it's just like what?
but they can,
How are they so
actually,
precise?
I know,
Yeah.
they're fucking smart.
Yeah, they're smart as shit, man.
They can bring those elephants back to a place where they can exist in the wild because
Mm.
they basically eat everything that's in the jungle. They just grab it and eat it. They know what to do. So while we were hanging out with them, they're just pulling trees out of the roots and just
Yeah.
eating them right there.
Yeah.
But their disposition is so interesting. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so interesting to be around them.
Just big and gentle.
Big and gentle. I mean, they're so fucking big, and they help you get up on them. They lift their leg up, and you stand on their leg.
Yeah.
And then you pull yourself up onto their back, and then you hang onto this rope that's around them. They didn't seem to mind that you were on their back, but it's still. It felt like I would rather just feed them and pet them.
Yeah, like they're
say
not gonna
hi.
do that in the wild. They're not
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Hey, buddy,"
Yeah,
like
I didn't-
you know, yeah.
Yeah, and then go down to this pond and then you wash them in the pond and everything. It's interesting.
That one was really cool. I wanted to go up to Chiang Mai, but we were at this place called
There it is right there. That's exactly where we were.
Ah, that's so pretty.
Yeah, that's exactly where we were.
awesome.
And so you go out there and you pet them. They love it. They're
That's
like,
where you
oh,
see
you're
all
giving us a
the
bath.
like cute baby elephants frolicking. Oh, there it is. Oh my god.
They love the baths too.
Oh my
But that water is filled with shit.
Oh,
They just shit in the water while
would
you're
you
out
really
there.
mind though?
It's
if you're,
elephant shit. It's not that bad. It's just leaves.
It's probably lucky in some cultures, you know. Just
I'm sure
put it on
it is.
your nose.
What is happening right now with this virus, where everybody's being forced indoors and forced to stop work? It's a terrible thing for people financially, but it is in a sense a reset button. It's a real reset button.
Yeah.
To know that this shitty job that you hate going to could go away at any moment, because all jobs could go away at any moment, is a real wake-up call, because even the good jobs are going away, right? If you're in San Francisco, you have the best job in the world. Guess what? You can't even go there.
Right.
You might have the best job. You're so fucking pumped to go to work every day. You can't go. You can't go.
Yeah.
So that can be taken away from you too. So if you're living a bullshit life, like recognize that all of this for everybody could go away.
Right.
If Yellowstone blows, half the people die.
Right.
Like easily,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Right.
And that motherfucker could easily go.
Sure.
We need these little catastrophes sometimes just to let us understand that the window of time that we've been existing in, that's been relatively free of disaster, is unique. And that's not normal. Normal is madness. Normal is we're in the middle of a fucking shooting gallery spinning 1,000 miles an hour around a fireball. That's normal. And every now and then shit flies into our atmosphere and wreaks havoc.
This is why I love Hollow Earth theory, man. You ever get into that shit? Do you ever get into that?
Is that for people to get kicked out of the Flat Earth Society?
Yeah, flat Earth people look down on Hollow Earthers, but Hollow Earth is, like, to me, my favorite of them all, because if the idea is like, yeah, humans have been on the planet for a long time, and if we want to go into like the cool idea of the Atlanteans and advanced civilizations, at some point, if you can't create a way to protect from the meteor impacts and you're looking to create a sustaining civilization, you're going to want to go in there, man. And so to me, it's such a fucking cool idea that in the core of the earth is another sun that has an advanced civilization that hasn't been disrupted by the shit that happens on the surface of the planet. It turns the earth into a spaceship. Inside the spaceship are these advanced beings. And outside the spaceship, it's like a celestial fungus that's like growing out. It's like, another way to put it would be, outside the spaceship is Mad Max. Like, covering outside the spaceship is just a bunch of, like, you know, us that are inside the thing who have basically been completely disrupted over and over and over again. So they have no idea what history is. They have no idea where the planet came from. They don't know anything. And now we've sort of grown out of control all around the ship. And so this kind of shit that's happening is like turning on the windshield wipers. It's like, hey, man, you got humans on you. You know that, right, man? You're like crawling with them. Oh, fuck. Wipe them out. Get rid of them. Let's just scrub the fucking surface. Do some earthquakes. Yellowstone is just a windshield wiper for the people who live inside the planet.
Well, you know what humans are, man? Really?
What?
A vector for ideas.
Yeah.
It's ideas that change everything. The humans just do the work of the ideas.
Right.
What we are, we're the first thing that can manipulate our environment that has ideas. We're the first thing with ideas. All these other animals, they had instincts.
Right.
They had ideas in terms of like trying to figure out the best patterns to acquire food, how to sneak up on birds.
Yeah.
But if you think cats have ideas, well, guess what? They all have the same fucking idea. Cats aren't inventing shit.
Right.
You know, they're not inventing things. There's a specific kind of idea that's unique to a human being. Regardless of the sentience of other animals, ours is unique in that it allows us to make stuff. Not just little things. We can make gigantic machines that travel into space, and all the wild creations of human beings all came out of ideas. We think it's all humans, but true, we're the ones that put forth. But if you're a thing that wants to get born and you need a host, You get that curious ape that's just been trying to figure out better ways to stab its neighbor with a spear. Get that thing and slowly infect it with ideas.
Right.
Ideas of new stuff to make.
Yeah.
And then it goes out and does the work for you. And then you take over the earth. The ideas have taken over the earth. The people are just the toys of the ideas. Now, if instead of ideas you said demons, I mean, that's literally what people used to think was happening to
Right.
folks when they did terrible things. They had bad ideas. They acted on those bad ideas. And ancient religions thought of those ideas like they were demons, like these people were possessed. That was a common thought, that someone's possessed by a demon.
Still
But
is.
we're all possessed by ideas, and some possessed by them more than others. Like Elon Musk is particularly haunted. He's possessed by ideas.
Swarms of ideas.
And what does he do? Well, look at what he's done. He's one guy that's probably had more of an impact on our perception of what the future holds in terms of technology than any other one individual human being that is widely known of like he is, a famous human like he is. I mean, he's doing Tesla, which is the most advanced electric cars in the world. They're insane.
Yeah.
Then he's doing this fucking loop thing, right? The hyper or the
Hyper-
boring project where he's boring.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing the hyperloop. He's doing the boring project. He's making tunnels under LA and Vegas, and you're gonna be able to shoot through those tunnels going 120 miles an hour. Then he's making rockets that shoot up into space. Oh, and solar power too. Yeah. Like what? How is one guy's doing all this? What's going on there? Well, that guy's infected by ideas. That guy probably has a huge receptor, and ideas have clung on to him. Just like some girls have big tits, some people have crazy parts of their brain that soaks in ideas, and it's no rhyme or reason to why. But what they are is an antenna for ideas. Those ideas come up, and you're like, wow, I'm glad I thought of that. And then you go to work on fracking. You go to work on all kinds of different crazy things that change the world forever. Whoever invented Fukushima, right? He's like, I'll figure out how to shut it off when that time comes.
We'll figure it out.
No one ever does. But that person talked people, or that group of people whose ideas all coincided, talked people into building a gigantic nuclear furnace that you can never shut off.
Yeah. How crazy is that? That's crazy.
It's
Like,
crazy.
we scan the skies for meteor impacts, but we
Yeah.
have no way to scan human consciousness for some incoming idea.
Ideas. Yeah.
Because some ideas coming in are going to be great, but there's going to be a few that are really bad ideas. Like,
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yep.
He had an idea.
Yeah.
And it was a bad fucking idea.
And he implemented
Where
that
was that
terrible idea.
That idea was just floating in
Yep.
the astral plane, gradually just shooting towards Hitler's fucking brain.
That idea is fueled by an ecosystem, and just like you're fueled by nutrients, right? Human beings are fueled by plants and fish and animals and vitamins and all these different things. Well, these ideas are fueled. They're fueled by insecurity and ego and lust and greed and jealousy and anger and virtue and love and prosperity and comfort and community, and all those different components of human consciousness all interact with this idea. So the idea becomes like it just hitches a ride. It hitches a ride with all these ideas that already exist in your brain.
Yeah.
And then with these pre-existing structures like businesses and warehouses and all these different things that we use to make stuff and then ship it out, then the idea becomes a thing. And then the idea winds up in the belly of a seagull because it looks like a fish. Whoops. Sorry. You're
Yeah,
dead.
right.
You're dead,
Right.
seagull. You couldn't figure out that that's a bottle cap.
Wow.
Not a fish. And that this is how things change. They don't just change because of people. We're blaming ourselves. And it is definitely us that's doing the work. But it's all coming out of ideas. If we thought of ideas as a life force, instead of thinking ideas as like something you own,
Yeah.
and something you hold, but even though you do deserve credit for your ideas because your discipline to sit down and try to cultivate these ideas accelerates the production of those ideas
Yeah.
and exercises the muscle through which those ideas come through focus and energy. So you deserve credit for it. This is not a socialist way of looking at it, but everybody that has an idea that's really good will tell you it's like it came out of nowhere. Like every great bit that you've ever had, it's
Sure.
like pop, a light bulb goes off and you have this thought and it comes out of nowhere.
Right.
That's like most things that you write that are really cool. They kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You just sit there and then all of a sudden you think of things and you write them out. They're an idea that you're wrestling. You just catch them. You
That's
just
it.
catch them. Do you remember that early Ford cars, the early Ford cars were made with hemp. All of his fenders and everything were made with hemp. And there's a video of him taking a hammer and like a sledge and banging it off the fenders, and it shows you the insane durability that hemp fibers have. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, but that never made it into production, right? I think that was a wartime shortage R&D effort. Same thing with stainless. You ever seen any of the prototype? A couple of them still exist, but
stainless.
Yeah, so
really?
Ford, I think it was the 37 two-door. It was a 61, maybe, T-Bird was the newest, and there was a third one that the entire body is made out of stainless, and they're so badass. And then GM did one during World War II, during the metal shortage time, entire plexiglass Buick sedan. And it sold at an auction recently, and
plexiglass, like
I
clear?
was so fucking tempted. Yeah. So the entire body is clear. Like you see through the doors, you see the window regulators, the lock solenoids, everything. It is so badass. And it sold for what didn't seem like an absurd. It was like 180, 200 grand.
Wow.
And it is
plexiglass.
so actually, can you Google that image? It's a plexiglass prototype Buick, I think it was. Hopefully we'll find it. Super, super nifty.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that what is the company? Lotus. Lotus developed a hemp fiber car. They did like an anniversary, one of their what is it, Estige or whatever the fuck it is.
There it is. There it is. To the left.
Wow. Look, the
one more over.
Yeah. Look at that. That's insane.
It's like, are you kidding me?
That's
that was
crazy.
So fucking cool.
That's crazy looking.
Apparently, it cracked and proved not to be viable, so it
I'm
never
sure
made
it's
it
a piece of
past
shit.
it. But just as like a sculpture to have here in your man cave, the thing is so badass.
Yeah, really cool. I like. There's all the. Is that safety bracing on the doors? Structural bracing on the doors.
I also, for a while, like I wanted to do. There was a Dow, Corning, and somebody else. There was a big consortium that was doing a bioderivative molded plastic concepts. So like for your city trash cans and stuff, and the durability and the life cycles and everything were epic. And I was thinking for a while, like, how badass would it be to invest all the money in the platform of the vehicular engineering and then make the body literally by design almost disposable? So when it's at the end of its life cycle, it literally could turn into mulch and go on the ground and be totally neutral.
Right.
Or more interestingly, more liberating for a consumer and a designer, like let's say that same platform you could have like a dune buggy style. Like, okay, I'm going to take it out to the desert and we're going to go elk hunting or whatever the hell you're going to do that weekend, right? And you want like a buggy truggy style. Or, we're doing construction at the house and we're going to use it for, hauling soil or whatever. So you could have like modular bodies and different applications used on the same platform, but all bioderivative materials. I think that'd be super cool.
Well, I've always wondered why someone besides Lotus, didn't make another hemp-bodied car. Because, Corvette still uses plexiglass or fiberglass for all their cars. But hemp is far superior.
It is. And it's another one of those things. Like, why isn't that moving forward? Who doesn't want that moving forward?
Someone make, maybe you should do it. Maybe we should make like a 69 Corvette, but make all the panels, redo them in hemp fiber.
Hate to say it, but you're going up against the petrochemical industry, and I do not want to be that dude.
For you?
Sure. I mean, all the petrochemical interests in plastics.
Yeah, but if you're just rebuilding something, do you really think that it would be that big of a deal? Like they would come after you if you took all the body panels off. And by the way, it would probably be so much stronger if you watch the video see if you can find that video of Henry Ford banging the hammer off of.
I'm reading about it right now. It might not have been what was like.
He lied?
He didn't lie. The people that putting out the video lied, I guess, is what this article says.
What does it say?
The angry historian wrote a big blog about it, dug through it. That seems to be a prototype, as he was saying, and it was probably plastic. It might have been some hemp in there, but it wasn't even 50%
It's a binder,
hemp.
maybe.
It wasn't even 50% hemp?
Right.
Well, how does he know that?
They're digging through all the places that the information came from the 40s and all the places that they were talking about making.
The angry historian's pretty balls out serious when he makes a statement. He does his homework.
Interesting. I had a friend who had a stalk of hemp. One of those the base of a hemp tree on his desk, and he's like, "Pick that up." And I picked it up, and it looks like a piece of oak. Like it looks like and we feel it. It's really hard, but it's really light. It's the weirdest plant. Like I don't know if you ever held a piece of hemp, like a hemp stalk. It's like an alien plant. It doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah, and its
hard.
properties and its structure is so unique, and there's so many benefits to it for sure.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, see if you can find that lotus, the hemp lotus. They had it where the front stripe down the center was clear coat, so you could see the actual hemp fiber in the lotus. But no one's ever done anything. I mean, they still make Corvettes out of plastic. I mean, still making them out of fiberglass. I would think that would be like a real straightforward approach, especially now that hemp is legalized and you can grow it in the United States and most states. I think it's federally legal.
Yeah, I for my leather goods, like this jacket is all hemp thread.
Really?
It's super strong.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's better
There it
than
is.
anything.
So that stripe down the middle is all the clear coat natural hemp fiber. So that whole car is made out of hemp.
I think one of the things that's alarming about our politics right now is like things that were just regarded up until like 5 years ago as the kind of lunatic fringe have made their way into mainstream politics. Like
what?
Steve Bannon proudly declared himself and Breitbart as the platform of the alt-right. And then Steve Bannon was sitting down the hall from the president of the United States.
What was the alt-right in the beginning, though? See, the alt-right became something in the public eye. In the beginning, I thought the alt-right was like young Republicans that were a little different. You know,
don't think
I
that's
don't know
what the
what it was.
alt-right is.
No, not now.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, in the
But even
beginning,
then-
my perceptions of the alt-right in the beginning was like what I thought Milo Yiannopoulos was when he first burst onto the scene. Sort of like, a guy he's...
But the whole thing that Milo has revealed, right, is like it was an ironic posture that revealed, like, if you're joking about, fags and kikes, you're still saying the thing.
Well, but he's gay and he's Jewish, and so the idea was that he could get away with these things. Provocateur was the word I was looking for. That's essentially what he's doing. And he's using that to build social currency, right? That social currency is developing this large group of people that follow him and talk to him, and he thinks that there's some merit to his ideas, so he finds some sort of justification for having these provocative conversations in this stance where he's saying these things, and a big proponent of free speech, and all these things are happening all at the same time. That's what I thought the alt-right was initially. What I thought the alt-right was initially was people that wanted a new, younger, more current take on what a Republican is. And then it became racist. And then it became, all the things that we think of it now in terms of like public perception is what it became. Like
I
who
don't know.
calls themselves alt-right now? Who even says they're alt-right? I mean, it's almost like such pejorative. Like the label has become so toxic.
But don't misunderstand the fading of the label for the power of the movement. It's just become kind of more normal Republican now. Alt-right ideas have been subsumed by the Trumpist Republican Party to some extent.
Like which ideas?
I mean, look, the idea that some Americans are less American than others, that is certainly an alt-right idea that I think is extremely dangerous. I mean, you saw it when, here's a great example. When Trump went after the Squad, okay, and remember when he said that they should go back to the totally broken, crime-infested places that they came from.
Right.
Ha, ha, ha. Those people three of them were born in America, one is a naturalized U.S. citizen. The idea there, right, as I heard it, and maybe I'm hearing something you're not, that some Americans, because of their skin color or their ideas, sort of have provisional belonging here, for me is a very, very, it's more than a dog whistle.
Right.
It's something that is deeply un-American and deeply bigoted.
If he had said that about one person who had come here from somewhere else that was awful and was criticizing America, then that would have been a more valid statement. And that would be like Ilhan Omar is not from America initially. She
No,
wasn't born
Ilhan
here.
Omar, no, and I can't stand her ideas,
Right.
but she's a naturalized citizen who is sworn to uphold the values of the Constitution.
Yes.
She's just as American as me or Donald Trump or you.
No, I agree. And I also agree that this idea, like, go back to where you were, that sucks, is the response to someone criticizing the way things are here is pretty ridiculous. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to go back to where it sucks. You're here and you're a United States citizen. You just think that this place should be better.
Yes, and you
This-
can
yeah.
disagree with their ideas, but that concept, right, that you're not entirely of a place,
Right.
that is something that has been used against Jews forever.
Hmm.
The idea that you're not fully Iraqi because you're Jewish, or you're not fully American because you're Jewish, or you're not fully French because you're Jewish. Like, the idea of provisional belonging is something that I'm extremely sensitive to.
So it's a toxic tribalism that's attached to the concept, the alt-right ideas.
Well, but then the alt-right ideas, like, look at who Steve Bannon has made common cause with, right? People like Nigel Farage, people like Marine Le Pen. I mean, there was a really good documentary about Steve Bannon where he's meeting with people who really are not just like normal conservatives.
Who is Marine Le Pen?
Marine Le Pen, what is her party's name in France? She is a deeply xenophobic politician in France whose father was profoundly anti-Semitic. She claims that she's not, but she's someone that, you say her name in any Jewish community. And
There she is. President of the National Front. Just that name, National Front. It sounds like Stormfront.
it's really not pretty.
Marianne Anne Perrine, a French politician and lawyer serving as a president of National Rally political party since 2011, with a brief interruption in 2017. She's been the member of the National... It doesn't say what she does. It doesn't say. Okay. Anyway. So, back to her. And
Or Jews, or... I mean, you want to go to...
Farage, you were
yeah,
talking...
I mean, just like... I don't know. I see ideas getting expressed. Like, there are people that Tucker Carlson has had on his show who are like avowed white nationalists
Like who?
recently. Can you Google that, Jamie? There was a guy that he had on the other day. Or even these whistles, right? Of like, there's a way to criticize. Did you find it? Sorry.
There's a way to criticize...
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no worries. There's a certain... Here goes. List of Tucker Carlson's guests who have links to white nationalism. But has he agreed with these people? Has he argued against their ideas? Roger Stone?
No,
Roger
I
Stone's a
thought it
white
was.
nationalist?
No.
He has links to white nationalism? Peter
No, I don't think this
Dabrowska
No, there was something more recently.
wasn't the first white nationalist Tucker Carlson has hosted. Okay. That was 2018 anyway. It's,
I don't know. I mean, are you not alarmed by the turn that you see in the Republican Party towards sort of like, I don't know, the Trumpist cult?
Well, I think one thing that the Republican Party has done that's wise, if you want to keep a solidified team, is that they haven't come out against him and they've supported him, and there's very little dissent. And this is a good idea if you want your team to win, right? And there was a lot of people who were kind of never Trumpers who softened their stance once they realized the power of his presidency, that he's really
They're sometimes
he's
Trumpers.
dominant, sometimes Trumpers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm alarmed. I'm alarmed by people. I'm alarmed whenever there's an outward lack of compassion, and when there's an outward disdain for the other, because essentially this country is all the other. The whole thing, that's all we have, is the other. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
Well, and the whole thing that, yeah. I mean, there's just, Trump has just, beyond the sort of like, he said various things that are like, he was speaking to a Jewish group and he talked about your prime minister. I mean, he said so many things that are ridiculous.
Right.
But the big thing that he's guilty of is he has like dismantled the guardrails that keep society decent and civil and normal. And like once you dismantle those things, like it's very easy to reverse, not very easy, but you can reverse policies. What's much harder to reverse is a culture. And he has just been gleefully making war on what I think of as very, very important cultural norms. Like not attacking the weakest people in our culture, like not attacking Gold Star families, like I mean, he has denigrated like the most heroic and the weakest people at our culture at every possible turn.
Yeah, the Gold Star family thing was very disturbing and weird how it just kind of went away.
I mean, it didn't go. I remember that moment. Remember when people forget this, when he said about Judge Alonzo Curiel, who was born in this country, that he couldn't give a fair hearing to Trump University because he was born in Mexico? I mean, this is an
Did he say
American.
that?
Yes.
When was this? Years ago?
No, it was during the candidacy.
Really? Was it?
Yeah, will you just confirm?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was like.
Didn't he say something about loyal Jews wouldn't vote Democrat as well?
Oh, yeah, that the
Jews-
Jews are disloyal because
Yeah.
they don't vote Republican because look at all the great things he's done for Israel.
Yeah. That if you're a loyal Jew to Israel, you would vote Republican.
Yeah, or that the Jews who don't vote for him are disloyal. I mean, yeah, that was
Yeah.
a high point. But I mean, just the main I feel like I haven't given you a satisfying answer about anti-Semitism itself. I think the
Here it
way
is.
to think
Trump
about
attacks
it.
Judge,
Do you remember this?
It's too jarring to read. Indiana-born federal judge who President Donald Trump once said could not be impartial because he was Mexican cleared a major obstacle standing in the way of Trump's long-promised border wall with Mexico.
Right. So I hear that and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
it's all feeding this idea that like there are some people who are more American than others, that are more belonging than others.
Yes.
And I think that idea is despicable.
Right. It reinforces his tribe, right? And that's one thing that Donald Trump has clearly done is cultivate a tribe. You know, he has a tribe. I mean, they have a hat,
Yeah.
right? They have a slogan. And it's a weird slogan because it seems so positive. Make America great again. That seems positive, but it's not. Like if you look, people punch you if you have that hat on. It's so crazy. And we've gotten to a point in society that something that's a positive statement, like make America great again, is so polarizing that people will be violent towards you and feel like they need to. They feel like they need to like you're the enemy.